presentation. I would like to invite the first speaker of the session, Mr. Krishna Kumar from ABB Process Industries.
I'm Krishna Kumar. I lead sales for ABB Process Industries Digital for Asia Pacific, Middle East and Africa regions. I'm based in Dubai and it's a real honor to be here. So sustainability is in the headlines everywhere, right? I mean, everybody is talking about it. You have governments having sustainability goals that are coming in from the UN. You have organizations hiring these sustainability officers, having ESG goals. Everybody is talking about green hydrogen, blue hydrogen. Everybody is talking about carbon emissions. So a lot of things happening in the world today to come together to save the planet, basically, right? So it's a climate change problem that you are tackling through the entire sustainability initiative. And it's happening right now and here. So people are doing various things right now in order to tackle this problem. But a survey done by CDP, which is basically the Carbon Disclosure Project, with about 4,000 customers, sort of showed that only 80 of them are doing credible measures towards sustainability. Why is that? Because a lot of people are talking about it. They are engaging maybe consulting organizations to think about what they need to do. A lot of these activities are ongoing, but a lot of immediate actions are not happening, right? There are multiple pieces of the sustainability puzzle that an organization can look at. There could be CapEx investments to change the process itself. I mean, this is one of the biggest levers, of course, to, if you change the process in ways in which you reduce carbon emissions, yes, that is a big lever. You have technologies like carbon capture and storage that's in the market today. You have multiple other levers that you can use for sustainability, but there is one big lever that already exists today that most people are doing, which can be geared towards sustainability, and that is digitalization, right? Which is what I'm going to throw a little bit of light on today. So digitalization is a very key pillar to enable sustainability and the sustainability goals, and it is something that you can start right now. There's no need to wait, and it's going to help enabling this entire sustainability process and ESG goals that companies are going through. Now, there are various levers that an organization uses when it's trying to drive sustainability. There are the sticks. Earlier, Vivek ji spoke about the pollution control boards asking for emissions reports and so on. So these are the examples of certain sticks. So governments having fines imposed for certain emission norms being violated, or for certain effluent water norms being violated, or for certain energy peak. I mean, when the power organizations are fining you for the energy violations that are happening for certain hours, that is in a way a stick, right? So these are various sticks that the organizations are using, that the government bodies as well as public organizations are using to force people. So that is one driver. But there is also the carrot that is starting to come in globally, right? So energy efficiency itself as a topic is a direct impact on the bottom line. So if you improve your energy efficiency of the plant operations, it is resulting in profitability immediately. So that is a definite carrot that the organizations have. You also have this entire carbon trading ecosystem that is coming into play in various regions of the world, which is another carrot. And in fact, today there are ways in which you have access to capital for various investments that you need to do, depending on the sustainability initiatives you drive. So various carrots that are coming into play, which is driving this particular trend in the market. ABB has been there in the market for a while for various digital solutions. So we look at various pillars. So the way ABB approaches digitalization is from 5 value pillars. So operational excellence basically has to do everything with improving your present-day operations, be it MES solutions, or be it reporting or dashboarding or KPI monitoring, whatever you want to call it, enterprise analytics. All of this comes under this pillar of operational excellence. We have the asset performance management, which is basically tackling reliability problems. How do I run my assets better, my compressors, pumps? Of course, there is a predictive element around the remaining useful time of these assets, but also looking at is it running as efficiently as it should. So this comes under the asset performance pillar. The third pillar is process performance, which is got to do with APC. It's a common industry terminology. So everything to do with improving your process given your current constraints that you have in your operations. So that is the process performance pillar. And the connected workforce, which is bringing the insights. There was a question, in fact, during the day about how do I use these insights? So you've got insights coming through these applications, but how do I get it to the field worker, the people who are actually in the field doing the job? So this connected workforce solution sort of solves for that. So, and of course, the fifth and most important pillar is sustainability. So we use energy management as well as energy optimization solutions in combination with the other pillars in order to enable these sustainability goals. And I'm going to talk about it briefly today. Of course, it's a very vast topic. There's too much to cover. Would be happy to host you in our booths to have a more detailed conversation. But the idea of this session is just to give you a glimpse of the kind of work we've done with various customers and what we do. Cybersecurity, as was mentioned by Ramanji in the morning, is all-encompassing, and everything we do is linked to that. So under the umbrella of sustainability, there are 5 important key pillars that we look at, right? One is the energy management and optimization. So this is the most important immediate ROI giving initiative that anybody can undertake. This term, it's been there for a while. There are various ways in which customers look at it. I'm just going to paint a picture that is a little all-encompassing in terms of how we can do it. Predictive emissions monitoring, meaning that you're using inferential models and tools to predict the amount of emissions, and this is actually being approved by global organizations towards formal reporting of ESG. Water treatment optimization, process optimization, and connected workers. So these are 5 elements that I'm going to briefly touch upon today, are various areas under the umbrella of sustainability that ABB works. The first one, which is energy management and optimization. So the first example I'm going to talk about is a paper and pulp customer who basically had massive shutdowns occurring from certain energy peaks that they were hitting as part of their operations. So ABB did this detailed energy audit. We were able to identify certain faulty maximeters, but that was only part A of the problem. Implemented an energy measurement and monitoring solution, which basically helps you monitor your energy guzzlers, report it out into the respective departments in terms of what they consume and what the problem areas are, give advisories on what is the optimal way in order to run that energy, in order to consume the energy given the amount of demand that the plant has. And then that led to a 9% saving overall in the energy costs for this particular plant. We have similar examples that we have done in metals, mining, cement as well. Please do reach out to us if you want to know more. A second example is that of a metals customer, where we basically help them to optimize the kind of usage of the energy, meaning that in metals you have this electric arc furnace, right? It's one of the most important processes, and that has a very short 50-minute, let's say, melt cycle, which has a maximum energy consumption of that particular unit. Now, because of this, there were multiple trips that were happening, and the customer wasn't using the right amount of energy at the right time. So planning for this energy demand was an important element that ABB enabled the customer to do, and I will talk a little bit about that. So we were able to plan his energy consumption in such a way that they don't hit those peak energy periods where the price of energy is way more than normal, and hence curtail the amount of energy costs that they were having. The third example is a cement plant, where ABB was able to, so this particular cement plant is a global player. They are located in multiple locations. They were able to look at their various resources of energy. So basically they have the captive power plant, they have the grid, they have the renewable resources as well. This particular plant had that. So what is the most optimal way to generate the amount of energy they need in order to consume it at the most optimum efficiency? So ABB was able to look at an optimization problem and then solve this for them, schedule the amount of consumption as per the process production that has been planned, and hence reduce the amount of energy overall being consumed. So this is a third example. So there are 3 pillars, basically, 3 modules through which ABB looks at the entire energy management problem. One is the monitoring and reporting. Basically 3 use cases that is enabled. One is to measure the amount of energy that you're consuming. The second is to have alerts for deviations from ideal situations. So if for a particular production, if your ideal power is X, it's getting way more than that X, you have certain actions that are recommended, and hence you address it. And the third one is the reporting of emissions and energy. So emissions is a derivative of the amount of energy that is consumed in the plant. So you're able to effectively report emissions through this particular tool as well. So that is your monitoring and reporting. The second part is forecasting and planning, where the the solution is also able to interface with your planning systems in your particular plant, if you have them. When you have the right plan of production, you're able to then look at how best to address the need for the energy for that particular production. So that is what this tool is about, is forecasting and then planning for that particular energy. And the third one is the energy optimization. So here, it addresses multiple sources of energy, like I spoke about, optimizes the most efficient way in which you can generate your power. And also, you're doing within particular, for example, if it's a captive power plant, you have a closed loop control system available in order to make sure that the boilers are optimized at the, are generating power at the optimal level. And you are able to shift consumption from off-peak hours, so you're scheduling production in the right way, at the right time in order to address your energy problem. So these are three areas in which, three modules by which ABB looks at the entire energy management and optimization problem. The next one is process optimization, and this is a known devil, right? The industry has been doing it for a very long time. APC has been around for a while. ABB has also been doing it for almost 30 plus years with various customers. But the key now is optimization, not just from a throughput point of view. Typically, the maximization that happens is on the throughput, but you're also looking at energy as a critical parameter. So in this particular example, which is a cement mill in Brazil, there were alternative fuels used for the kiln, right? So you are able to then optimize for the right kind of fuel that is needed in order to deliver the output, as well as then optimize, given the current pyro system as well as the raw mill, cement mill, what is the most optimal energy with which you can still maintain that throughput that you need. So that is the problem statement that was given, and ABB was able to optimize the process in such a way that we had almost 1.5 kilowatt hour per ton of energy saved for this particular plant. Now that results in about 500 tons of CO2 per year. So that is a very significant amount of saving that ABB was able to do for this particular cement customer. So this is a process optimization issue. So I gave you an example of cement, but the use case is something that is applicable across all industries. So you have metals where we have done some similar work. We have, of course, energy, almost all the industries we do similar work. So the next one is the predictive emissions monitoring. A lot of us know what SEMS is, which is continuous emissions monitoring, right? So you have the hardware that is used in order to measure the amount of emissions, say SOx, NOx, and carbon emissions that are happening. But a lot of times this is an expensive solution, but also it is sometimes unreliable because of a hardware involvement there. So you cannot put this everywhere, right? So PEMS is the alternative, which is the predictive emissions monitoring. This is basically using a tool, an inferential model, in order to predict what is the emissions given the current process parameters. So in a nutshell, it is helping you predict what the emissions are in a very reliable way. And the good news is it's recognized by the US EPA, as well as implemented not only in the US but Middle Eastern countries as well, where in a lot of these cases, they are officially reporting the amount of emissions that is happening. So if you have SEMS already, it's okay, this can be a backup in case there is a failure, but if you don't, then you can look at PEMS as that solution instead of going for a full-fledged SEMS solution. So this is one way of looking at emissions. The water treatment optimization is another area that ABB focuses on, and the example that I'm going to take today is of a paper and pulp mill, right, wherein ABB was able to work with this customer in order to reduce energy consumption by 10 to 20%, so that is direct impact on the bottom line, as well as reduction of chemical dosing by 5 to 10%. So this is the amount of chemicals required in order to treat the particular water. So in the paper process, the water quality becomes an important element to determine the output of the grade of the paper and the quality of the paper. So by using an influent management system, which is you have the water that is there, but it is dependent not only on the water quality, but also on environmental parameters, as well as the kind of chemicals that you require to go in order to give the right quality of water output. So there is a dynamic optimization problem there, which ABB used in order to give those results, as well as for the bioreactors aeration water pumping unit, we were able to optimize the amount of dissolved oxygen and ammonia, this amount of energy required in order to do that process, and thereby increasing the energy efficiency of the process and the energy required. We partnered with DHI West for the digital twin in the water quality and chemical composition space. So we are able to accurately predict the kind of chemical compositions that would come given the current process, and hence be able to predict and therefore optimize energy. So all of this in combination resulted in this benefit for the customer, for this particular paper and pulp customer. So while I've spoken about various elements, which is basically, I can say, things that can be done in point solutions, you have an integrated digital operations which ABB does, which is it looks at the problem at a complete end-to-end level. So what I mean by this is sustainability, like we earlier addressed, is one problem that you need to solve using tools that exist today in the organization, as well as certain tools that you can augment it with. Right? So, for example, asset performance management, if somebody is using it only from a reliability perspective, looking at the efficiency of the asset in combination with what are the key energy guzzlers that are coming, and is it because of the energy efficiency problem, combining that or viewing it with the digital twin is a sustainability problem that you're looking at. The energy emissions that are coming, which are reported through a system that you're already probably using for reporting various other KPIs, is solving for a sustainability reporting problem. A connected workforce, which you're probably using today only for training individuals on the field in terms of what they need to do, also gives insights on what are the kind of emissions that are happening and actions they need to take. So you use existing tools today in various forms, integrated with the need to solve for a sustainability problem. And therefore, you look at this picture holistically. And that's where ABB is able to do this in a holistic fashion. Right? So we work with our customers in order to enable the persona, the person who is dealing with the problem, be it a sustainability manager, be it an energy manager, be it operations, be it reliability and maintenance, and enable those conversations to happen between these various departments today that rely on maybe paper or emails or other form of communication that is happening today. Right? So they have a single source of truth where they look at the entire problem and they're able to have conversations to solve for it. For example, for an operations manager, the key is always going to be throughput. I'm not going to compromise on my throughput or the amount of production that's needed. And energy is not really my primary focus. But for the energy manager, it is. And in order to have this conversation, we are providing the right kind of tools and the platform for these personas to come together. A simple example is, again, that of a cement plant, where we were able to, through this integrated approach, help them reduce almost 3 to 5% of their operating costs, cutting across multiple plants. So, all of us already are aware of ABB's capability on the L1 space and the L2 space, so be it motors, drives, or other instruments and DCS, known for it. But this entire thing was not only that, but brought together the solutions that lie above it. In this case, optimization, not only of the process, which I spoke about, the cement APC, but also the steam and power units, which is the optimization of the steam network in order to have the optimal energy. And combine that with asset performance management and MES, in order to enable the economic process optimization objectives that the management had, which is on thermal energy, electrical energy, and production scheduling. Because ERP is part of the problem because you need that data in order to do the reporting. So in this manner, ABB was able to help this particular customer with an end-to-end solution. And we look forward, I have a minute left, so we are available. We have experts in the booth today. So please feel free to drop in at any time and have this conversation with us. Thank you for this opportunity.